Hi, my name is CJ McDonald, principal here at Echo Hill. Happy Friday. Yesterday, Thursday, Opera Iowa visited Echo Hill, and man, that's one of those events that are just going to be etched in the adults and children's mind for a really long time. It was fantastic. The performance was wonderful. It's an opera that's it was the Little Mermaid story that was adapted for an elementary audience, and they just do a fantastic job. At the end of this video, there'll be one of their troupe members that describes Opera Iowa in a much better way than I did. Great shout out to Haley Hopkins, who organized most of it, and then obviously to the other specials teams who always just pitch in and work so hard to help kids. And in this case, it offered just a really rich cultural experience that they're not going to forget for a long time. I put a few clips at the end because when my daughter did it, I just kind of thought it was okay, but this way you'll be able to actually see a few snippets of the performance at the end. So this was funded by Linn-Mar's Foundation, which is run by Echo Hill's own, we'll claim her for sure, Shelley Schroeder. So thank you to Linn-Mar Foundation for funding this and creating such a wonderful experience for the kid. Maybe I'll see you April 8th for their fundraiser, the main event. It's going to be 1980s dress up day. So we'll see how that goes. In conjunction with the Opera Iowa visit was Fancy Day. Now that I've experienced a lot of different dress up days, I'll tell you that there's so many fun days. I really like Fancy Sock Day, Wear Your Hat Day is always cool, but Fancy Day I think is now my favorite. Some of those boys had some swagger with their jackets or ties or even just a collar. Girls with their really pretty dresses that they had on that they would twirl in, or even just a really pretty cardigan or sweater, and everybody just felt extra special. So Fancy Day is Mr. McDonald's favorite dress up day, I think. Another thing, I've spoken with some of you about accessibility in terms of walking or bike riding and crossing the street, cross guards, etc. As more and more neighborhoods go up and more traffic goes on around here, we're trying to figure out what we can do to work with the city, the school district, etc. to help create more safe routes for students. There's actually an organization that Bob Reeder, Associate Superintendent, is working with called Linn-Mar Safe Routes, and the sort of step that they're looking for parent information. So I've attached in the email under Linn-Mar Safe Routes a survey that I would love for you to take over the next week if you could, to give them more information and hopefully to help our community, our Echo Hill neighborhoods have better, safer routes to school. Upcoming events, Breakfast with Buddies is already filled up, but it's Thursday and Friday. Innovation Hour, when students are learning new tech tips. That's coming up here in the over next couple weeks. PTO meeting is Monday the 4th. Very important, National Burrito Day is on the 7th of April. I'm going to continue to talk about that. National Burrito Day. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Also, you can begin ordering your yearbooks at the link that's in the email as well. Last thing I want to do is give a huge Echo Hill holler to the second grade team. The second grade team achieved a really significant goal that's kind of difficult to describe, but it's a math achievement goal. Second grade students, the number of students in the fall who did not meet benchmark for second grade, what percentage of those kids met benchmark in the winter? Okay. So 65% of those students who did not meet benchmark in the fall made it in the winter. That's a great gain. That's actually a state goal that's very difficult to attain, and they did it. So shout out to the second grade team. I believe that they're the only team in the district that achieved that. Second place was our kindergarten team with 60%. Nice job, ladies, as well. So Echo Hill's a great place that's just working to get better all the time. And that second grade team represents that. So they're not the only ones, but second grade team, thank you for working hard together, for being passionate about your students. Echo Hill is better because you're here every day. So. Well, that's it. I appreciate everything that you do. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
25,000 students. 25,000. Isn't that crazy? So, Opera Iowa is part of a opera company called the Des Moines Metro Opera. I'm actually wearing their shirt today. And Des Moines Metro Opera is one of Iowa's very own opera houses. So, if you like the opera today, you should ask your parents to take you to Des Moines this summer, where every year there's a big opera festival and you can see as many operas as you want during the summers if you like today's performance. So, how many of you, just by show of hands, think you maybe have actually seen an opera before? Oh, that's actually more than I was expecting. Very cool, very cool. How many of you think this is your very, very first opera that you've ever seen in your whole entire life? Oh, awesome. We love seeing people coming to the opera for the very first time. Now, if you don't know what an opera is or you've never been to an opera before, I have to tell you that it's really not so different than a very, very related form of a musical that I'm sure you all are familiar with. I actually just said the word, a musical. So there are some really famous musical movies that I'm sure many of you have seen. Maybe you've seen The Wizard of Oz, or Phantom of the Opera, or The Sound of Music. Show of hands, anybody seen those? Very cool. It's okay, no worries. Have any of you seen maybe some really popular musical cartoons like The Lion King, or Beauty and the Beast, or the one that I know everyone is obsessed with right now, Encanto? Remind me, who do we not talk about? Yes, exactly. Good. So, if you've seen any of these musical cartoons, you've seen, actually, you're pretty ready to see your first opera, because they're really not so different. The main difference between an opera and a musical is that opera has classical music playing in the background, and unlike in a musical where there's moments of spoken dialogue, just like the way I'm talking to you right now, the characters talk to each other, in opera, every single line, even spoken dialogue, even sentences like this, are all set to music. Today's show is actually somewhere in between. There's a fancy Italian word for it. Instead of an opera, it's called an operetta, because operas can be up to like 4 hours long, so I think you guys would get a little bored if we were just sitting in front of you for 4 whole hours. So, we're getting our lights ready. So an operetta is a short opera. It basically means a small opera. And an operetta is actually a little bit more like a musical in the sense that there actually is spoken dialogue. So I want you guys to really, really pay attention during the performance today, because in between all of the songs and all of the musical numbers, the characters are actually going to speak to each other, and they might even speak to you. They might even ask you guys questions. So make sure you pay attention and answer the questions if they ask you anything. So, opera is full of all kinds of really cool musical forms. Let's just shout out, actually, some of these answers. Do we know what it's called when 2 people sing at the same time? Yeah, duet. Or maybe when 4 people sing at the same time? A quartet, yeah. And what singers really love the most is this special type of song where just one person sings by themselves. Do any of us remember or know what that might be called? Let's shout it out. I'm hearing some solo. I'm hearing also, I think I might have heard 1 or 2 people say aria. Can we all say aria together? Aria. There's going to be a few arias today where you get to really experience the beauty of one person's voice. They sing all by themselves. An aria is like a moment in time stretched out. Like if I'm feeling really happy, I might stop the show and think about how happy I'm feeling for a few minutes. So make sure to pay attention when arias happen. There's going to be a couple duets, and there's even a quartet at the very end of the show where everybody sings together. Now, there's 2 very important people